Gopala Astrology channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Interactive session with one of my best friends from Mysore, Mr. Sudhanwa. He is the software company CEO in Mysore. He has been doing outstanding jobs. He has done several automation projects and stuffs like that. And he accidentally found me through this YouTube channel, and then he started interacting with me. And he's a very good seeker, and he has vast knowledge in astrology. So he thought, he gave me an idea that I should start working with a seeker asking questions or live on YouTube. So that's what we are trying to do, this new initiative from today. It's going to benefit many of you guys. And if you have any questions, you can see that the same questions may be asked by Mr. Sudhanwa as well. Okay, so I will leave it to Mr. Sudhanwa. Please introduce yourself, and we will start this weekly Sunday sessions from today onwards. All right.
Thanks, Mr. Gopala. I like to call you my senior seeker who has gone ahead in this path of astrology. And we like to know more about your experiences and knowledge, and what you have inherited by your forefathers. And I heard a lot that your grandfather has given you many things which many people don't know, and we like to also know about those things. So myself here, Sudhan, and I'm running a software company in Mysore, and I'm a very enthusiastic astrological student or a seeker. And I found Mr. Gopala online, and we had many great sessions, and this led to make a video or kind of share our experiences together in that way, that many information which will be lost without having this kind of recording sessions. So together we're going to have an interactive session, and I'm going to put forth many questions to Gopala sir. Hopefully whoever is watching this video, if you find this video kind of informative, do share this video, and hopefully this is going to be a great one.
Certainly. So I always appreciate your enthusiasm, and you make me learn more by asking questions, Mr. Sudhanwa. All right, so let's start the session. The questions can be very basic ones. Please don't
First, very basic question. What is astrology? Why?
I always welcome this type of questions, because I would like to address this question from the common man's point of view. See, if you just open a book, you have a lot of definitions of astrology, and there are so many books. It's a big ocean in itself. So the more you know, the more you don't know. That's what happens with astrology. So we will, what is my plan here is this. We will introduce astrology in a very scientific way, in shorter sessions, okay, and then people will understand. So astrology, so study of stars, in a very systematic way to understand its effects on human beings. So that's what I can say for a common man. Okay, you don't have to worry about textbooks definition. So that means there is some astrological knowledge, and we are seeking that from the common man's perspective. That means if I'm a common man sitting here, what this astrology, logos means it's a Greek word. It is to know. Astros is all about the astronomical objects around us, right? So to seek this knowledge about those stars and planets and grahas, which is rightly called by our sages, so we will use that and put it into our perspective. So how is that this horoscope charts are made, and how is it that influence practically the human beings? So this is what I have made few videos already in the YouTube channel. But if it is a question answer session like this now, it will be very, 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 very useful. So let's begin with the connection of the stars and planets to human body. Okay, for that I would like to just share a couple of slides from my previous video, and then that will make it much better. Okay, so are you able to see my screen, Mr. Sudhanwa?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what exactly I wanted to say about this fascinating subject. So let me make it bigger. All right, so we have this model. The sun is in the center and all the planets are going around in different speeds and all that. Okay, so the Saturn is the slowest of all the planets, and then the Mercury is the fastest of all. So this was the model that started with our great sage Parashara Maharshi, right? So astrology began with their observation of all the stars, the group of patterns that they used to observe in the night sky every single day. Now, for us, this is readily given to us by sages. They said that there are 12 zodiac signs, and then they started labeling that from one reference point called Aries. That becomes the Kala Purusha Kundali's first house, and then it started with Taurus, then Gemini, Cancer, etc. And they have their Sanskrit names written here: Mesha, Vrishabha, Mithuna, Kataka, etc. Now, if I show you this, you may be very happy to understand that there is a particular house and there is a particular lord for every house, right? So there is a owner for every house. So now for Mesha Rashi, the assignment given was for Mars. The planet Mars becomes the owner of Mesha Rashi. Okay, and it is also given the assignment for Scorpio or Vrishchika Rashi. So this planet Mars becomes the owner of these two. What does it mean? So they have probably, the sages did a lot of R&D work at those point of time, and they found that whenever you observe the planet Mars in the background of Mesha Rashi, so the ownership, the influence that it leaves on human beings is going to be very strong, as though a owner sitting in his own house, sitting in a comfortable position. So that's what we have to interpret. I will give you more and more explanation about the influence of planets itself, how exactly these planets are going to influence us. Okay, so let's just see the ownership of each of the houses in astrology. Okay, so you just asked me a question, what is astrology? You need to really know these 12 zodiac signs and their owners to start with. Okay, so this is our basic lesson. So you have the Vrishabha Rashi, it is owned by Venus, and Tula Rashi, which is also owned by Venus. So we give two assignments for Venus in astrology. Okay, the next Rashi is Gemini or Mithunam. It is ruled by planet Mercury, and Kanya Rashi, which is also known as Virgo. So that is also ruled by planet Mercury. So Sun rules Leo or Simha Rashi. The Moon rules Karkataka Rashi. In the same way, Saturn is given two particular Rashis: the Capricorn, that is Makaram, and then Aquarius, the Kumbha. So Jupiter owns Pisces and Sagittarius. So this is the combination that came out from Parashara Hora Shastra, so which is the basis of all astrological knowledge that we use it in Indian astrology. Okay, so let's do this, and then the interaction of all these planets with each other in each of these 12 zodiac signs is the study of astrology. So that's what is the basic definition I would like to give. All right.
Yes. So as we know, there are planets which are affecting the houses, and there are different zodiac signs. So how do we arrive to this conclusion? Is it a mathematical phenomena, or is there something which is just beyond our comprehension?
Okay. See, the proficiency that we have today and the proficiency that our sages had, they had a lot of intuitional knowledge. Okay, so they had intuitional knowledge, and they said that a particular planet in a particular house will give a particular effect. Okay, they must have done a lot of R&D work, right? See, for example, I will give you in a simple example for a common man to understand. Let us say there are 3 or 4 friends who meet up and they go for a movie theater. Okay, they want to watch a movie. Okay, they choose to go to a particular theater, and the movie starts. Okay, one of them may be a bulkier person like me in size. Another one may be a very lean person like you, for example. Another one may be a medium character. So if the lean guy who is very lean, okay, goes and sits next to the air conditioner fan, and the fan directly blows the air to him, he being lean in nature, he gets very cold and he do not enjoy the full movie. Okay, he keeps complaining. even though the movie may be good, because of his nature, his position is not good. He's very close to a particular air conditioning unit. He will always be complaining, right? So he will say the movie was not that good. And at the same time, if you put a stout guy like me away from the air conditioner and it's very warm, I will also complain the same. So if we swap the positions, if I go where the air conditioner is there, I will enjoy the movie and I will say, oh, that was a fantastic movie. And you will also be in a warmer place and you will say that, yes, this movie was good. In the same way, every planet has its role to play. So certain Rashis are very warm in nature, like fiery, we call it as fiery signs. Aries, and then Leo, and then Sagittarius. Mesha Rashi, so then Simha Rashi, and then we call it as Dhanush Rashi. They are called the fiery signs. So those are the signs where which fits very well for planets like Mars or Sun or Jupiter. They do very well in those places. There are other cold places which are watery signs. For example, Pisces, Meena Rashi is a watery sign, okay, and Karkataka Rashi is a watery sign. Okay, right. Even Scorpio is a watery sign. So in those places, certain planets do very well. So that is how every planet is assigned a particular location for its exaltation and debilitation points.
Right. Now, I want to know why these Rashis have these watery sign or fiery sign. What defines that signs?
Okay, this is exactly what I said. See, if you go to a science lab and you take a solution A, solution B, and then you mix them and you will get a blue color precipitate. So you can put that in a lab and show and demonstrate. That's what we learn in our chemistry lab, right? In the same way, what our sages have done is they have assigned certain attributes to a particular Rashi, and then they have interacted with the human beings who are born in particular time, and they found that there is a very good match. For example, a person who is born in Dhanas Lagnam, it's a fiery sign, right? The person will be always sweating. So we can always see that sweating nature of a person and understand that he is born in Dhanur Lagnam. Dhanur Lagnam must be a fire which is behind him, right? There will be some people who are born in Karkataka Lagnam. They will always feel very cold, right? So the people who feel cold, they always like to wear sweaters and all that. So they will never sweat. So they must have been born in the background of a group of stars which are cold in nature. This is how this science of astrology is built.
This is a great phenomena. In fact, it is very hard to believe how a planet being so far, I mean, they are not even visible in the first place, are able to affect individual human beings on this planet. Right? It's
this is the question I really like to hear, because many people will not get the answers in the books, but I got this type of knowledge from seniors whom I have met, in Bangalore Astrological Society and all that. I used to ask this type of crazy questions, and thank you for asking this question, Mr. Sudhanwa. So how to say this is this. See, Shankaracharya said, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande, right? So as the atom is the universe. And he said, I am not in this world, the world is in me. So I'm just quoting that wordings of Shankaracharya. Why? Because, see, whatever is happening in the universe is happening in ourselves, because we are all made up of atoms which were once in the crucibles of the stars. Right? So whatever was there in the cosmos happening, it's happening in our body as well. So all the 106 elements, what we know today, whatever is the latest number, I don't know, periodic number keeps growing up. Yeah. So what I was in school, it was 106. Perhaps it is more than that. I know that it's a wrong number, but take it for example, 106. All that is there in the universe is in your body as well, in one way or the other. And only because of that we survive. So whatever is happening there is happening in this body as well, in a very dynamic way. So that's why I call human beings as living chemicals. Mm-hmm. Okay, living chemicals. So we are connected to that in every way. I will give you a very simple example, which I used to hear this from my seniors in our Bangalore Astrological Society. See, you can ask me a question. Moon is there, which is very far from us, and how is that it can influence us, and why we should take Moon as the reference, and why is this lunar system of astrology was started by our sages? You may ask me this question. The answer is very profound, okay? I thought of sharing the screen, but still it is easy to explain directly. So if you happen to go to the ocean side, okay, on a full moon day, Okay, it's a Pauranima or a full moon day. When you go to the ocean side, you will observe the sea or the ocean is going to have a very high level of tides, right? The waves are going to be very big in nature. Okay, even the fishermen will say that it's good to fish during the full moon time period because the water level is good and the boat can be pushed into the water. On the contrary, if you go to the ocean side on a Amavasya or the new moon day, what happens? The tidal level will be very, very low. Okay, we say the sea is very calm. The pushing of the boat doesn't happen easily for the fishermen on the Amavasya day. So it's a fact, it's a science. You can always go and observe it for yourself, even today, right? So what does it tell you? What is the inference? The inference is that the moon has very strong attraction to the water on this planet. Correct. So more visibility and exposure of moon closer to the earth, the more waves are generated on the ocean. And please understand, the human brain has 90% of water. Right. So the ocean water is attracted by the moon. The brain water also is attracted by the moon. That is why we say Om Manaso Jataha. That is what is the Sanskrit line for the influence of moon on our mind. So
I just have a question, which may be out of context. Do you mean to say that on a new moon day, the mind is very calm and on a full moon day, the mind is agitated?
It is not exactly that. It is always, I will tell you, there is a word called lunatic in English, right? The person who do not think in a rational way is called a lunatic person. So what is that Luna? Luna is moon. So especially those people behave very erratically during the full moon day or a new moon day because their brain waves go in extreme conditions. They think in a very different way and they will have a lot of agitation. You get my point? On a normal day, if it is a Chaturthi, if it is a Panchami or a Shrashti Tithi, 6th lunar day, 5th lunar day and all that, they will be normal. They will be normal people like me and you. But extreme things happens during the Amavasya. Why? The reason is because of influence of moon more on their brain. Okay? So it all depends on the position of moon when they were born.
Okay, it's important.
Exactly.
All right. So, coming to getting to know about the moon, I like to also know about other planets' influence on human beings.
Oh, certainly. See, everything starts with sun. So everything is dependent on sun. We call sun as the engine of the horoscope, right? So without sun, nothing happens. Everything is starting from our beautiful star called sun, and we are all the product of sun. Okay, so that is why wherever the sun is placed in the horoscope, we call that as our soul's purpose, right? So sun is everything. So we don't need to even discuss whether sun has influence on human beings or not. I call that as the soul of the horoscope. All right, that's the first thing. Moon, I have already explained, it controls the mind. In the same way, Jupiter controls the fat in the body. Okay, the people who have very beautiful Jupiter in Trikona houses and all that, they will be bulkier in size. They will be very much related to university works. They will be highly qualified. The Jupiter is going to control the fat in the body. It is going to control the gnanam. It's going to control and give you the knowledge. People who are having best position of Jupiter, you can find them very intelligent and knowledgeable persons, right? Mars is another way. I can say it's a red planet. It controls our blood vessels and muscles. So the people who have very good Mars, they are good in sports. You know, like people like Mike Tyson, they will have exalted Mars. Take example, Muhammad Ali. He has got Mars in Mula Trikona position of Aries in the 10th house. So there are so many examples you can see of the famous celebrities who are sportsmen, who are in army and all that. So the people have very good position of Mars. Mars is like a fighter. So it gives you, it has a fight. Everybody have their fighter in their place. So if Mars is in a good position, they will be very good in defending themselves. Sometimes the Mars becomes very weak position, so those people will, get hit by others, I can say. So Mars controls muscles, Jupiter controls fat in the body, then Saturn controls the calcium. It gives the shape and structure to the body. All right, Mercury controls.
Saturn. I mean, you did not tell about Saturn in detail.
Oh, of course, Saturn has many things to control on this planet. It controls oil and gas, it controls the coal, so many things it has influence on this planet Earth. So in terms of human body, it gives the shape and structure, it controls the skeletal mass.
I mean, why is Saturn considered as a taskmaster?
He is known as the Karmadipati. He is the judge of the horoscope. So for certain assignments, when you observe and do R&D work, and you find that certain placement of Saturn is going to give you extreme miseries in that particular area of life. I'm going to explain to you each and every bhava. What does it mean? Bhava means it's a house with respect to the position of Lagna. So whenever we see the Saturn being placed in certain bhavas, it is going to give you a lot of problems. On the contrary, if it is placed in places like, for example, 3, 6, and 11, from the Lagna, it's going to give you the extreme benefits. The best planet will become Saturn for that horoscope. So with all those attributes, studies and R&Ds that is being documented in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, we can conclusively say that Saturn is the Karmadipati. It is going to judge your past life deeds and then going to be placed in your horoscope at the time of your birth, and then he gives certain results and we have to face it. So he is the Lord of Karma. He controls the karma.
So we always say that, we always, it is being like Venus is a feminine planet.
Exactly. Venus is extreme giver of pleasure. So those who have very good position of Venus, they will have liquid cash in a big way. So all the millionaires and all that, they will have very good placement of Venus, like it may be in a trinal houses, the 159, or it can be in Kendra houses 1, 4, 7, 10. So the Venus is one planet which gives the best cash and the pleasure. All types of luxuries, you have a Mercedes car or a BMW car, you can have a very good bungalow house, is seen through Venus. So all these are experiments done through various charts of the people. So if you ask me a question, why Venus can give pleasure, why Saturn can give pain? If you ask me the question, the answer is very simple. We have studied so many charts and we have written a book. And from that book, we can always derive conclusions. It has happened in the past for somebody. So using that principle, we can say that it will happen to you as well. You get my point?
Yes, I get your point. I mean, this is saying men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I mean, is it like as feminine as it is considered, the planet? Because
yes.
Is there a planet which has a sex? Because planets are basically they are non-physical things, right?
Okay, let me tell you one thing. I have to share a simple story. If this video goes too long, it's not a problem. We will make it half-an-hour videos. But I have to tell this story to you because you asked a very, very interesting question. Does planet have sex? It's just dead masses of things going around the sun. This is the question I used to ask, and the answer is really very, very interesting. So the planets are there. If you just take your watch, for example, you have a hour clock. What do you call it? Hour hand. Then you have a minute's hand, and you have a second's hand. It keeps going. So if you ask me a question, what is time? It's not watch. Actually, time is a very relative concept.
Yes.
In the same way, I will tell you very, very simple story. Okay. One day, it really happened for one of my lecturers from Bangalore Astrological Society, and he shared this experience to me. And he said that he was driving, and he had his little daughter next to him, sitting in his car. Okay, so the little daughter was like 7 years, 8 years old, and she was very curious. She was observing the father driving the car. So whenever she see the speedometer, the needle goes very fast like this, around 60, the car used to go very fast. And whenever it came down to 20 or even 0, the car used to go slow and it used to stop. So in the mind of that little girl, the speed of the car is controlled by that needle. Whenever she is seeing the needle is going to the right in the clockwise direction, the car is going very fast. Whenever the needle is coming to the left side in the anti-clockwise direction, the car was slowing down. So she asked the papa, Papa is the speed of the car controlled by this needle, right? So, do you know what is the real answer?
Mhm.
Who is controlling the speed of the car? The soul of the father is controlling the speed of the car based on the soul's decision-making ability. He is pressing the gas pedal, right? More he presses the gas pedal, the car goes faster. The less he's spreading the thing, it is coming smaller. But it is exactly the speedometer for this car is like a horoscope. It is just the horoscope of the car. So it is an indication only. It is just like the hands of the clock. It is just an indication, but it is controlling anything. Who is controlling your horoscope? Who is controlling your fate? It is your soul. It's your good karmas and bad karmas. When you are pressing the gas pedal more, you are pumping more good karma, so your car is going faster. When there is a problem, you will apply brakes. There is a problem, you have to stop it there. So that's what the soul is doing, and all that is seen through. For some reason, this somebody called God upstairs has so well orchestrated this that whenever there is a particular combination that happens in this solar system, you are born, and then it indicates your present karmic effects. It's just like a clock, So you cannot say that planet is controlling you. Actually, you are so coincidentally born in such a way that the planets are tracking your karmic effects. That's all. But real karma is done by you. Whether you are good, you're doing good or bad, you will get the results. And the God is just known as Turiya. He is the mere witnessing. He is making sure that you are going to be served with the right karmic fruit in your hand as you are holding. So that means planet Venus sitting there, it is not just giving the pleasure. It is your good karma. You deserve that pleasure. It is just indicating that you are going to have that pleasure. Saturn is going to say, you did some bad karma, and I'm going to show you that I'm going to remind you in your horoscope, and you are going to get the result of that bad karma that you did in the past. You might have forgotten, you died, and you've taken the next birth. But for some reason, this information is in the cloud. Okay, that data is always saved, and you will always be served exactly according to
there is an autonomous system which is managing all this.
It will never fail. The karmic theory never fails. And that's how it is.
So we learned about these planets. And what are these Rahu and Ketu? What are the cardinal planets? Basically, they are imaginary points. Why are they so important?
See, Rahu Ketu, if you just take a telescope in the night sky and you want to observe it, you will not find Rahu Ketu. Rahu Ketus they are the magnetic points. I call it as magnetic vortices. Vortex is singular, vortices is plural, right? So you in your childhood, in your primary school, you learned about magnets and magnetism, right? So when you bring two magnets in the close vicinity and try to rub without touching each other, it's going to generate electricity, right? In our cycle dynamos and all that, we used to have that. So whenever there is a magnetic lines of force which gets cut, it's going to generate electricity. EMF, electromotive force, is generated, and that is also the Faraday's law of electricity. So now you have sun, it's a huge magnet, and you have moon, and you have earth. So there are three powerful magnets, and there is a system that keeps going around. So earth is going around the sun, and moon is going around the earth, and this system itself, the earth and moon, also goes around. Okay, so in this combination, what happens? There is always a plane in which the earth is taking its axis around the sun. There is a plane in which the axis of the moon is there. So whenever these two planes are coinciding, they will form a very strong concentration of magnetic points. I have made a beautiful video on this. You can always put this in the comment section for other people to visualize it. But what I'm saying is, it will always be two magnetic points, one in the northern hemisphere of the earth, we call that as north node, and the other one is in the southern hemisphere of earth, we call it as south node. So Ketu is south node, Rahu is north node. These are high concentration magnetic points.
Okay.
Very high electrical energy is there around that.
So they have influence on every human being.
Certainly. Their magnetism is very much felt, and they go always in the opposite directions, where all the planets go in the clockwise direction, whereas Rahu and Ketu always move in the opposite direction.
But why is there a story that Rahu is a bad guy and Ketu is also another way of bad guy?
Yeah, of course, this is all mythology. Mythological stories are there, many stories. I don't want to prove or disprove it. We have
Mhm.
heard it in Puranas. The Puranas are definitely there. And let's not go to that part of the Puranas whether to prove yes or no. But yes,
Right.
there was a story about Vishnu being, chopping off the head of a Rakshasa who drank the nectar of Amrudam. So the
Right.
head became Rahu, tail became Ketu. Those are all the stories which are there. I really don't have any proof about those stories. I go by science, and I see that
But
these two.
even if you go by science, Rahu is considered to be a very desirous planet or a entity which is going to drive a person crazy if it is not placed in a good position, right? And why is it like? How can it make such an impact on a person being just a magnetic field?
It is so powerful. Why? Because all the goodness of the planets has to come through this zone around the Earth. Okay, and then
Okay.
it has got a beautiful sheet, a magnetic sheet around Earth, and it has got an entry point and an exit point. So
Wow.
all that enters through that sheet is Rahu, right? So
Okay.
Rahu wants everything. Ketu wants to leave everything. It is
Right.
something like that. It's the entry and the exit points
Exit
for
points.
all the magnetic influences that is coming from the planets.
Right.
And that's why the five planetary system with Rahu Ketu as magnetic nodes is very much emphasized by Parashara Hora Shastra. Okay, Parashara system.
I should not be asking this at this junction, but still I want to just ask you why this Kalasarpadosha
All
is
right.
related to a snake, which is related to a magnetic point.
Yeah, because see, for some reason, the snake's energy level is very powerful. So snake is a very peculiar type of a species which has got a very long-term memory. Okay, answer is I do not know why, but I can tell you how. So it is always related to a kind of long-term memory. So whenever the snake dies naturally, it is fine, but if it is killed artificially and it dies artificially in some way or the other, its soul has to be properly treated and respected, like how we treat the human soul. So if it doesn't, if it is not done in that way, this snake soul gets extra power, and then it starts getting into doing many crazy things. And that's what we can do a separate video on Kala Sarpadosha. It's a big thing, but we can always relate snake's influence on Rahu and Ketu. The head of the snake represents Rahu, the tail of the snake represents Ketu, and this is fundamentally true, and we have seen this in many cases.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
So anyway, so these were the very fundamental questions that has been asked about introduction to astrology. We at least today came to know what is this science of astrology, and it's all about planets and planetary system. Purely, we talk about solar system planets, and then the group of stars in the background of these planets, right? And how it influences human beings and all that. So in the next session, probably we will even talk about the parts of the human body related to each of those zodiac sciences, zodiac signs and all that.
Difference of
And we
each
will
of
make
those.
this more and more interesting for people who are really new to this astrology and they think that astrology is some mythological thing and all that. But we will make them understand that astrology is real science. Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you,
So
Gopala,
it
for
was.
this beautiful session, and we'll see you in the next session.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhanwa. Thanks for this initiative. Thanks a lot. All the
Bye.
best. Bye bye.